Hi, and welcome to your recorded demo of OperaDDS. Feels kind of weird saying that, but I totally get it. You're busy. You have a practice to run, and our time together in this video is the time you had available. With that, I promise to run through this quickly, and also I want to assure you that you're in the right place. OperaDDS is the ultimate tool in streamlining your practice and getting you back some of that time that can be hard to come by. By the end of our time today, you'll see how you can easily save you and your team hundreds, if not thousands of hours by automating the most boring tasks in your office while you streamline processes. As a bonus, you will also boost your production a ton without any additional effort. This is me. I'm Martin Helmbrecht. I really am just a servant to the little furry guys you see in the picture, my cats, Jesse and Mr. White. I'm on the support side of things here at OperaDDS. And additionally, I'm a registered dental hygienist who worked in the practice where OperaDDS was born, with our founder, Dr. Brian Laskin. I'll touch on that a little more later, but suffice it to say I probably know more about OperaDDS than anyone on the planet. At a very high level, here are how the solutions we offer fit in with your practice. Before you even talk to the patient, you can connect with them through CareText, easy, secure communication via your website for new patients and emergencies. Teledentistry that allows us to effectively estimate treatment needs by allowing patients to send actual images with requests. Then we have Recall to ensure patients show up. Forms to streamline the new patient process, in addition to revolutionizing consent for your clinicians in the back. From there we have Chat, which is a mind-blowingly awesome team communication system. Secure email to send any file to anyone in full HIPAA compliance. Cases for the easy and intelligent way to do referrals to specialists. And finally, we'll end with the easiest way to look like a superhero online, OperaDDS Reviews. And at some point, you might find yourself thinking, I already have Recall, or I already have a review system in place. Know that the beauty of OperaDDS is that you can keep them if you'd like. You can use as much or as little of OperaDDS as you need. Obviously, you can realize some huge savings by using all of our connected tools, but just know that you don't have to. I understand that change can be hard in your office. And whether you choose to use only a few features of OperaDDS or all of them, we'll be behind you 100%. All right, let's dive in. The first OperaDDS solution I'm going to cover is not only responsible for easily generating new patients from your website, but it can also free your team from those urgent, after-hours emergency calls that always seem to come up in the middle of a baseball game, dinner, or some other inconvenient time to take a call. This solution is called CareText. CareText adds the ability to easily place a secure, HIPAA-compliant Chat Now button directly to your website. Patients are able to securely ask questions back and forth with your team during regular business hours or even after hours for emergencies. The best thing is, every patient that you chat with is automatically logged in the system. This may sound difficult, but it's as easy as texting your kids. For example, here's what the office would see on the PC version speaking to a patient. Everything is automatically saved, and you can link it directly to the patient's chart. For after-hours emergencies, CareText actually allows you to trigger an SMS for a text conversation to a team member's mobile phone or even multiple people. Therefore, you no longer have to give out your phone number or take a phone call while you are out at a movie. Securely and discreetly text with patients instead with CareText. As Kirsten Hoffman, office manager at Four Seasons Dental, put it,
I never realized how many patients were looking at our website. The OperaDDS chat on our site has made it easy to connect with the patients, current patients and new patients. Having time to think about a response unlike a phone call is my favorite. I'm usually treatment planning or checking people in, so to remove some of the phone calls is a miracle in itself.
And don't worry, setup is incredibly easy. We will simply add a line of code to your website, and that's all that needs to be done. You can receive the messages from any device with full HIPAA-compliant security. And before I move on, if you have any specific questions I didn't cover about CareText, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Alright, the next solution I'm going to cover comes off as a newfangled future technology to many. But it's actually something that it seems everyone on the planet does except dental offices. It is the ability to send and receive pictures with patients. Sounds simple. But since we are dealing with medical information, all of a sudden, security, regulation, and HIPAA becomes an issue. So, we simply refused to do this for our patients for years. Until now. OperaDDS Teledentistry allows your office to triage more effectively. You can do this by accepting photos from patients directly through your website, text message, or even email. This is huge for children. If Johnny runs headfirst into the end table and chips his tooth, This allows clinicians to give assurance to his mom that clumsy Johnny will be just fine until the office opens tomorrow. I'm sure you've had that patient that reaches out on a Saturday night with a small chip on their front tooth. In fact, most emergencies really only come down to reassuring patients that they'll be okay until the office is reopened. While technically this qualifies as an emergency, it needn't disrupt their weekend or yours. But without pictures, it's pretty much impossible to tell sight unseen. And when you see the patient, you will know exactly how much time it will take to fix their issue. So no more wasted, no charge eval appointments, only to be rescheduled later in the week. Here's an example of receiving teledentistry via text message. After hours emergency appointment planning has never been easier. Now, I like to call this the ortho office's best friend, to triage small issues like brackets coming loose. Here we have an example of a teledentistry form that's been submitted. The form is auto name and the files are attached. Super easy. Let's take a look at what Dr. Megan Pint from Lake Minnetonka Dental had to say about teledentistry.
I'm loving OperaDDS. To look at a patient's tooth before calling my assistant on the weekends saves me from being the bad guy who interrupts her time off from something that isn't a true emergency. Great work, Opera.
And don't worry, all of the configuration is done on our end. To your team, it's just as simple as getting any other form. Easy. And before I move on, if you have any specific questions I didn't cover about teledentistry, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you could schedule a one-on-one call below. Alright, so as you know, even if you are booking new appointments like crazy, it's actually more of a hassle if they don't show up and you have a hole in your schedule. Enter OperaDDS Recall, the fully automated way to boost your production and get clients to show up to their appointments. Because today's patients expect to have choices with appointment reminders, we send confirmation and reminders via text, emails, and postcards where the confirmations will automatically change in your practice management system. We take recall reminders a step further in a few ways. First, we allow patients to start a conversation via your automated recall messages. Imagine this. Our system automatically sends out the patient's recall reminder for Jim. Instead of clicking the appropriate link, Jim replies back like a normal human would and simply says, "Sorry, I'm sick, can't make it." With old-fashioned recall systems, you would never see this. However, with OperaDDS Recall, you could do two things here. First, you can respond to Jim. "Hey Jim, really sorry to hear that. Would you like to reschedule for later this week?" Your patients will be instantly impressed, I promise you. We also give you the ability to easily fill that empty seat in your schedule through mass texting. On the front end, during your scheduling, simply ask patients if they would be open to a sooner appointment if one becomes available. You will find many patients are. Now, if Jim cancels his appointment, you can handle open time more effectively by reaching out instantly to everyone on your sooner if possible list. The first person that responds gets the opening you have in your schedule. The beauty behind this is every patient receives a text message individually and responds back, so no annoying group texts. Once a patient responds back, that information is sent securely to your portal. Here we have a great example of the efficiency of OperaDDS's recall system. On the left-hand side, we see the practice management system calendar. On the right, at a quick glance, we see we have 3 patients who are unconfirmed for the month, allowing your team to focus effort and maximize production. Dr. Grace Chung summed up her thoughts about OperaDDS Recall in this testimonial she has provided us here.
I really love all the features of OperaDDS. The recall messages are customizable and very easy to manage. And also the Action Required tab makes it so easy to reach out to patients and work with them for whatever concerns they may have. The chat system in Office is awesome, and we are loving it.
Before I move on, I think it's also worth noting that while you don't need to use OperaDDS Recall to use our products, it can really make the whole suite of tools free. Our growth plan, which includes all of our tools, typically costs about a third of what the average recall system will run you, and comes with all of the wonderful tools we have as well. If you have any specific questions I didn't cover about recall, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Okay. So the next solution I'm going to cover is one of my personal favorites. Truly. As a hygienist myself, I can tell you that most delayed appointments were due to one thing: waiting on paperwork. You know the old come in 15 minutes early spiel that of course no one does, resulting in me stalking the poor receptionist trying to see if the patient was ready yet, so it didn't push off my entire schedule for the day. Needless to say, it created all sorts of stress on really busy days. What I'm going to show you is how to make that 15-minute process a thing of the past. This will save you tons of time otherwise spent on scanning, shredding, and delayed appointments. We do this with OperaDDS forms. Plus, it's easier for your patient. We like to say any form, anywhere from any device, including your website. This includes things such as new patient intake forms, your release of records, your HIPAA form, anything else that you possibly want online, including referrals. You can also use forms in your recall messages. That new patient welcome letter can automatically be sent out with your new patient forms so the patient can actually fill them out prior to coming in via an easy, mobile-friendly form. What a time saver! While you primarily think of new patient forms for the front, the majority of your stack of papers is most likely consents and refusals, which can easily be done via iPad or computer in the back. Here's a tough situation. Imagine you have a minor receiving treatment and mom has left the building. You know that this family is always late for their appointments and will do treatment, but it's going to be a gigantic pain to get them scheduled. But you need consent before you can do the kids' simple sealants. Of course, they can't sign for themselves because they aren't 18. With OperaDDS forms, you can simply text mom a secure consent form so she can authorize the sealants to be done without the hassle of having to come back. What's more is your patients don't need to log into OperaDDS to fill out their forms. Let's face it, it's hard enough to get them to floss their teeth, let alone log into a secure site. Now that's what I call easy. A new patient calls and their forms are automatically sent via your recall message. You can guide them to your website or just text them their forms to fill out while they're waiting in line at Target. It doesn't get more convenient. And one final point. We get it. Not all of your patients may want to use digital forms. We suggest using them as your go-to, but you can always have some paper forms in the office for patients who haven't yet gotten on the internet. Lena, Director of Operations at 209 NYC Dental, had this to say.
We love it. What my staff and I love about OperaDDS Forms is its easy integration. You can use the link anywhere you need, like your website, email, text. I went and placed a code on my website and it was ready to go. It works with any device, an operating system, a computer, iPad, your phone. It's so easy to use that any staff member can be trained to use it within seconds. Patients can fill out the forms at home. You get them right away. Import the PDF into the PMS. Done. Best customer service.
Upgrading to digital forms will save you hours every week and a ton of money on consumables. Stretched out over the month, a year, you're literally looking at hundreds of hours you can get back instead of being a slave to the paper trail. If you have any additional specific questions I didn't cover about OperaDDS forms, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you could schedule a one-on-one call below. Okay, next we'll go over my absolute personal favorite feature of OperaDDS, chat. Now, I realize I said forms were my favorite, but this is my favorite. That's okay, right? It's kind of like saying, this is my favorite cat. But I'll show you using chat is an easy way to greatly increase your team's productivity, case acceptance, and generally lower stress. Chat is a team communication tool that can be used on all of the devices your office currently owns, including computers, laptops, mobile phones, iPads, even smartwatches. You know that every minute counts and leaving a patient to coordinate care is no longer acceptable. Therefore, having a smooth handoff where the doctor walks into every appointment prepared leads to a better patient experience and higher quality care. Consider this scenario. An emergency patient gets referred to you by one of your A patients with a broken tooth. And by referred, I mean they walk into your office and put the piece of their tooth on the front desk. Disgusting, but happens all the time, right? Well, many would tell the patient, let's set you up for an eval. I think we have time tomorrow. Because of course the front needs to check with the back to see when to put the new patient in the schedule. With chat, it goes a little bit more like this. Bob walks in and deposits his nastiness on the counter. Jill at the front says, thanks, Bob, but the garbage is over there. Then Jill sends a quick message from her computer to the lead assistant via an iPad in the sterilization center saying, who wants to produce another $1,400 today? You? I thought so. Bonus time! The assistant then sends a quick message to the doctor who gets it on her watch saying, you can get off Facebook now. We've got a tooth to prep. I'm using humor to make the point, but I think you get it. Effective team messaging by OperaDDS makes everyone's job easier, can make you all more money, and make way better dental care. Here you see the web version. This is Google Chrome where we see team members talking back and forth. What's more, OperaDDS's online status confirms that people will actually get your message. You can rest easy knowing that you don't need to chase the doctor down to make sure that he saw your note. Team messaging allows us to be even more mobile, which is especially important when we're working out of multiple operatories. You can mark messages either private or urgent, even set custom timers. OperaDDS's custom template messages saves you tons of time on data entry. Here's an example if you use CAD/CAM dentistry. How many minutes do you think you waste after a crown is milled until you finally go check it? Well, With OperaDDS Chat, you can set it so you know exactly when the crown is ready to be seated. A few minutes here and there throughout the day adds up to tens of thousands of dollars every month. Then, being a busy hygienist, my personal favorite is OperaDDS's checklist message. I found the checklist message feature in OperaDDS to be the most useful tool for me and the other clinicians in our office. With the checklist message, a list of all of the information discussed with the patient is sent in linear fashion to the doctor before they come to the operatory. The doctor gets to walk in, teed up for a conversation, ready to knock it out of the park. Think about your doctor being preempted and ready to go. This does two things. First, it skyrockets case acceptance. And second, it gives me, the hygienist, more time to clean teeth, which I absolutely love. This makes running late because the dentist didn't know what they were walking into a thing of the past. A true hero for hygienists. Let's face it, more time is like gold. Here we have an example of chat on an iPad, our assistant's favorite way to send and receive chat messages while on the go. Here is chat on the Apple Watch, which will be your dentist's favorite by far. We call this the digital lasso for doctors because it makes it that easy to round them up when needed. But with OperaDDS, we're not simply sending push notifications like others. By push notification, I mean a simple receive message. We have a dedicated Apple Watch application as we recognize the power of this device for smooth team communication. This allows your dentist to confirm your message and even reply with custom replies set up by your office. Did I mention they don't even need to carry their phone? As I alluded to, many OperaDDS clients choose to equip the doctors with Apple Watches so that they can receive messages discreetly during appointments, and the rest of the team uses the workstations in the operatories. OperaDDS Chat is the ultimate in mobility. No longer do you need to require Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, as you are no longer tied to a phone. You or the doctor can now send custom replies and confirmations from your wrist. So instead of receiving messages, we can respond back with the normal things that we traditionally say in dentistry. Here we have a testimonial from Patty, the practice manager of Parker Reed Dental.
If you do not have the system, you really need to get it. What an amazing system. It has improved our communication throughout the whole office by 100%. I also love OperaDDS because it's really helped us streamlining our patient care and just being able to provide a better service for our patients. We've all been there running around, leaving Post-it notes, leaving the operatory, running to the front desk. It's really eliminated all of that, and we're able to all know what the patient really needs. You can page each person separately, or you can create groups. So we've customized things and teams for the assistant team, doctor team, hygiene team, front desk. Also, our doctors have it linked directly to their Apple Watches for quick responses, so everybody can get a reply back in a timely fashion. If you need financial arrangements done for treatment in the operatory, the front desk can see those pages and come back, and it really has solved our efficiency problems with our same-day case acceptance and treatment planning. We give 5 gold stars for OperaDDS.
Imagine being able to easily find and communicate securely with everyone on your team in seconds. I can tell you, it's a game changer, and you are going to love it. And of course, if you have any additional specific questions I didn't cover about OperaDDS Chat, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on the screen. Or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Okay, next up is something that is a CYA. Cover your butt in dentistry. A way to protect ourselves and our practice and be compliant without wanting to kill ourselves from all of the mind-numbing details. We're going to talk about secure email. Now, we all know that understanding HIPAA can be exhausting. Thankfully, we take the worry out of regulation. OperaDDS Secure Email allows your office to send X-rays, massive CT files, or any other information easily, securely, and without putting your office at risk. You don't run the practice out of the owner's personal bank account. We need to run our emails the same way. Now, this is a bit technical, but know that we go above and beyond security for you by providing what we call secure HIPAA-compliant email, which is drastically different than just secure email. What most people don't realize is that Gmail can be secure with extra work and cost. Outlook can be secure with similar effort, but they do not offer end-to-end HIPAA compliance. After the message is sent with secure information, you have lost control. That information needs to be held in a secure vault where access is controlled. With OperaDDS, you're able to rest easy and send off information or files knowing that you're compliant on both the sending and the receiving ends. And here's another thing. We all get busy. It happens. And in turn, you might just fat finger an email address and send Jan Smith's x-rays to John Smith on accident. Oops, that email just went to the wrong person. With OperaDDS Secure Email, we give you an undo button. You can check to see if the message was viewed, and you can also retract the message. It's like a giant easy undo button for email. Let's listen to a testimonial from Dr. Jesse Hagen over at Hagen Dental.
I think OperaDDS has been a great addition to our office. It is rare to have a dental software rapidly evolve and improve over time. I feel OperaDDS does both, actually. So many HIPAA compliant services are complicated and hard to implement. OperaDDS is very simple and it's intuitive. I think the service is very easy to use, and as more pieces are brought online, it actually becomes an even more valuable tool. I also think the level of customer care that the company provides is pretty incredible. I definitely would highly recommend this service for anyone looking to simplify their HIPAA compliant communications.
If you have any additional specific questions I didn't cover about OperaDDS Secure Email, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Alright, the next solution I'm going to cover is all about case acceptance for your referral partners. Let's face it, patients often don't comply with referral visits. As a hygienist, when I fill out that paper slip and hand it to the patient, I know it's a shot in the dark whether they're actually going to go through with treatment. What a waste! With OperaDDS cases, we make it super easy to close the ridiculous loophole that has been left open for way too long. Now, whether I look 6 days later or when they come back in 6 months, I will know instantly what happened, as it is visible with a click. Sending digital referral cases through OperaDDS does this in a few ways. First off, we're providing information to the specialist in real time, so if the patient doesn't show up, they actually know that there was a referral, so it is super easy to follow up with the patient, get them taken care of. Second, you don't have to play that futile game most are doing way too often now, phone tag. Now you can get rid of voicemails, long annoying conversations, and post-it notes telling you to call someone over lunch. X-rays, comments, and questions are all done directly within an OperaDDS case by adding comments back and forth in real time. And it's super easy for offices by allowing everyone to communicate with you without even needing to use OperaDDS. With OperaDDS, you can set up referrals directly on a website that do not require others to log in to send you a referral. Specialty and cosmetic offices love this feature. Here we have an example of what the patient would receive, so instead of that boring old paper slip, we actually are providing the information to the specialist's office with their address as well as driving instructions. Let's hear what Stephanie Bolton, office manager over at Wyzetta Perio, has to say.
It's so easy getting referrals through OperaDDS. The best part is when patients don't show up, we get to call them and make sure they do come in. I get to make comments back and forth with the office, which keeps me from wasting time. And best of all, I don't have to read somebody's handwriting or worry about them forgetting to send the x-rays because it's all included. I honestly can't remember what we did without OperaDDS.
If you have any additional specific questions I didn't cover about OperaDDS cases, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen. Or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here and we're almost done. Last but not least, let's talk about OperaDDS reviews. Your reviews on social media, like it or not, are a huge driver of new patients to your practice. The fact is, over 80% of new patients consult reviews prior to picking a dentist. 80%. We all know that negative reviews can cripple your online presence. With OperaDDS reviews, we leverage the easiest, most powerful review system that has been proven in the best service companies on the planet. Companies like Disney, Hilton Hotels, and even Google. It is called Net Promoter Scoring, or NPS. NPS has been adopted by most Fortune 500 companies and is the future of reviews in dentistry. It includes an easy one-question survey where patients answer on a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 means they love you the most and will refer their friends and family. People with an answer from 0 to 6 are termed detractors. 7s and 8s are called passives. And people rating your office 9 to 10 are called promoters. These promoters are the people we love to send to your social media pages like Google, Facebook, or any other social media platform you use. This makes it super easy to get tons of positive reviews that will drive new patients to you while minimizing your exposure of the negative. We also love the passive patients, or the ones that rated you a 7 or 8. Because this is where the most valuable negative feedback comes back to your office, as these patients actually want to become a 9 or a 10, maybe even are one, but they had something to report that is preventing them from being a promoter, and they probably wouldn't tell you to your face. So they're going to provide wonderful feedback for your office to improve. Here's an example of some great constructive feedback received from one of these passive patients. After leaving our office, A patient gave an OperaDDS NPS review of 7, then stated, "I love your office, but I had a problem at my last visit. I needed to schedule a crown, but the front desk seemed too busy to get me scheduled, so now I have to call back to make an appointment." Wow, talk about a wasted opportunity. But think of all the opportunities we will capture going forward after getting this feedback and talking to the team. Without reviews, that valuable information would not have been passed along. This is something that would have been otherwise unknown to the team, but mattered to the patient. In 10 minutes, you can fix this issue and elevate the patient experience for everyone. It's been stated that every piece of feedback you receive, there are another 50 people who have thought it, but just didn't say anything. Here we have an example of what the review email would look like itself. You will have your own dashboard showcasing your Net Promoter, score, or NPS. I like to think of it as a credit score that you can monitor over time from new patient contact to the point when the patient is referring all their friends and family. If you have any additional specific questions I didn't cover about OperaDDS reviews, simply enter them in the chat window that should be on this screen, or you can schedule a one-on-one call below. Now, before I cover the next steps, I want to share with you the secret sauce that makes OperaDDS such a great tool. You see, most software solutions are built by a developer in a college dorm somewhere looking to turn a profit. Someone who is worlds apart from life in an actual dental office. If you've ever used a software program and wondered why, oh why did they do it that way, that is probably the cause. OperaDDS was literally built in a dental office. Imagine if you sat side by side with the developers of your practice management system, and every time it did something annoying, you let them know and made them fix it. That is exactly how OperaDDS was born. Every tool in OperaDDS was born out of a frustration that we had in the office. And then Dr. Laskin took on the burden of figuring out how to solve it with modern technology. Being one of the hygienists in that practice, I can tell you it wasn't without pain. And I think Dr. Laskin, the owner of Lake Minnetonka Dental and founder of OperaDDS, probably lost some hair in the process, but it was a process that was worth it. And to this day, while we still share the same building, now because it's been wildly popular and over 10,000 practices are using OperaDDS, we have a separate floor for the software team, but are still just an elevator ride away and continually updated based on the needs of an actual practice. Whether you use all of the tools in the OperaDDS suite or just a few, you will quickly learn that it is the easy solution for massively increasing the productivity in your office. Personally, as a hygienist myself, I don't know how I'd live without it. Now, if you're looking to get started, here's what to do next. Below this video or somewhere around it, there is a button to click to get started. Simply click that link and you'll be prompted to fill in some information to create your account. We then will ask you for credit card information. This is for authorization only, and you will not be charged until we get you set up and you select the plan that is best for your office. After this, we will reserve a spot in our onboarding queue so you can get scheduled with either myself or one of the other account experts to pick the right plan for your office. I know, introducing new things could seem tough, but I promise that OperaDDS will make a few minutes of work pay off massively and have your team calling you the hero for saving everyone tons of time and money going forward. Quickly, here is an overview of the easy plans we have available. Remember, you can use as much or as little of OperaDDS as you need, so allow me to quickly break down our plans so you can see what is best for you. Additionally, we made it easy for you to get going by giving you a spot below to input some quick information. Our entry-level plan is the security plan, the gold standard of security, efficiency, and HIPAA compliance for your office. You will receive your secure digital forms for new patients and consents, turning 15 minutes into a few seconds. You get unlimited access to OperaDDS secure email, the standard in mitigating risk and remaining compliant in the easiest way possible. You get unlimited file storage, any file, any size, stored easily and securely in our vault to share with other offices or your patients. And finally, cases, the smart way to do referrals. In my experience, any one solution out of the security package is worth well more than the price, which is under $80 a month. Next, we move into our profit plan. Our profit plan includes everything from the security plan and adds in chat, our full office team communication platform. Remember, it's the one that gives your team superpowers and skyrockets case acceptance while freeing you from chasing each other down in the halls. The profit plan is under $150 per month. And for every single office that uses it, the value of chat alone is worth 10 times the price. And of course, you get to keep all that upside. Next, we move into our full plan, which is the growth plan. The growth plan includes everything from the security plan, it includes chat from the profit plan, And then we include recall to fill your operatories and keep your schedule booked, reviews to automate and control your reputation online, and care text for generating new patients from your website and handling after-hours emergency calls without giving out your personal phone number. The great thing about the growth plan is if you are able to take advantage of it, you can get everything we offer for less than you are likely paying for reviews or recall alone. With each of our plans, we also have an additional discount for those who choose to make an annual payment instead of monthly. Our team will be behind you 100% and will do everything in our power to work on your behalf for a smooth and easy transition. Thank you so much for your time today. I'm excited to get you started streamlining your office workflow and making dentistry easier for you, your team, and your patients. Click the link below and I'll talk to you soon.